Welcome everyone to part 9 of my How to Play Hearthstone 4 tutorial series. We're going to be going over aircraft, air wings, and air bases. So I'm going to quickly jump into it by starting with the different air models. Now there are several different types of planes in this game, but they all fall into either a category of fighters or bombers. Now in your fighters you got, of course, your regular fighter aircraft. These guys are good at shooting down enemy bombers and enemy fighters. Heavy fighters are the exact same thing, but they're a bit bulkier and heavily armored. Then we move on to our bombers. We got close air support. These are good at providing assistance to land battles and helping your divisions out. Naval bombers are good at sinking enemy ships in naval combat. And then tactical and strategic bombers, they're both good at taking out strategic targets, meaning they're good at bombing factories and industry, basically crippling the war effort and supplies of your enemies. But strategic bombers are more specialized towards strategic bombing, while tactical bombers can also partake in close air support missions and can also attack naval ships like naval bombers can. However, keep in mind that just because tactical bombers have multiple purposes, that doesn't mean that they're better than all the other planes at their jobs. It just means they're flexible. So we're going to get into it real quick by clicking on the airbase down here in the bottom right. So everything's been split into giant air states. Planes will compete for control over these air states when you give them missions, and basically if you are fighting in the Midwest, all you'd have to do is deploy your planes all in the Midwest. So as you can see, our air bases have been highlighted. We can click on one to begin to see more under it, and you'll notice some concentric rings appeared all around the airbase. Those are the different ranges of the different air wings in the base. When I click on it, you'll see we have 3 air wings, 3 rings. The fighters typically have the shortest range, and I correctly guessed that the fighters are the shortest one. Now I think, yeah, the naval bombers and close air support have medium range, so they're, yep, I guessed it. Right on the money. They're a bit longer range, and tactical and strategic bombers are the longer ranged ones. Now, you might have to move your planes around to different air bases to make sure they can get to where you need them. So never just leave your planes in one air base. But I'm going to go over this box here. This is our air base. Here are the orders we could give the aircraft. Now notice when I select the fighter, we only have 2 missions, and when I select the tactical bomber, we only have these 4. That's because this is by design. Certain planes can only commit to certain missions. So we're going to go over how to give a plane orders. Now the orders up here are air superiority, which is shooting down other fighters to gain dominance in the air zone. Close air support, where you knock out enemy divisions using your bombers to help your own divisions. Interception, where your fighters will shoot down enemy bombers. Basically you directly target their bombers to stop them from bombing your people. Strategic bombing is when you're bombing buildings, infrastructure, industry, whatever, you know, all of that nature. Then here's our naval missions. Here we got naval strike. That's bombing enemy ships. Kamikaze strikes, I'm pretty sure everyone knows about. You really just have to be Japan to do those, or you have to follow a certain national focus to get it. We won't be getting it as America anytime soon, basically. And then port strike is when you bomb enemy ships while they're in port. Now how can we give this fighter air wing a mission? Well, before I give it a mission, real fast I want to cover this brown bar is its strength. That's its health bar. The more planes, or like, let's say I increase the amount of, there we go. Well, as you can see, the brown bar is lower because we only have 144 of the 200 planes we need. So I'm going to put that back down. And you might notice you can switch the amount of planes you can put in your air wing. As you produce new planes, they'll trickle down into your air wings. So this button here lets you increase or decrease the amount. When you click on this icon, the fighter portrait, you can see its stats. And then you can also rename it from there. And you'll see what mission it's on. And you'll see what settings for day and night and retreat settings. So I'll go over those real quick. You can click this to give the air wing a mission priority, so you could set them to never retreat or to be careful. Then here you could set the environment you want them to fight in, so either day and night, or night. Here's the button where you make new air wings, and this one lets you, this button holds the air wing. It's a halt button. It stops them from doing their mission immediately. And then this lets you disband the air wing. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a mission. let's say in some far out universe, the Brazilians or the Germans or some country, any country, invaded the East Coast and we're locked in combat. Well, I need to get my fighters up in the air. So I'm going to put them on air superiority. And they're on a mission, but they're not sent anywhere. So all you do is right click. So as you can see, they went to the East Coast. Let's get our tactical bombers on close air support. And let's bomb enemy shipping with our naval bombers. So there you go, that's how you assign missions. When I hit play, you'll notice, at least you should notice, hang on. When there is actual combat going on, these zones will fluctuate from the color green to the color red. I'm not going to show actual fighting, but just understand when it's green, it means you have air superiority. When it's red, it means the enemy outnumbers your aircraft there. So that's how you assign missions. And of course, you can select them and hold shift and click to select them. Let's say we invaded Eastern Canada. Well, we got to move our planes. We're out of range. I'll move them there. I'll hit play. All I do is right click. You will see they are en route now. And then, boom, there we go. We send them in. And then, remember, click H or click this button to hold them. So that should be about for aircraft in this episode. Now, do keep in mind, you will have air bases on your carriers. So if I were to send my carriers out there, you could still interact with your airbase aboard your carrier and give it missions separately out on the sea. So that should be it for air combat and how to use air wings and airplanes. Tune in next time for part 10, where I'll finally be going over land combat, and sooner or later I'll touch up on recruitment, and that should be the close of the series. So if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to clear up any confusion for you. And as always, have a good one.